Kristine Leahy, and my guest today, won 2 World Series titles with the Boston Red Sox and was recently inducted into their Hall of Fame. Now he brews his own award-winning beer. Kevin Youkilis is here. I met you back in Boston, and I've got to ask you about beer because I used to work there, both at the bars and as a reporter. There's a lot of beer in Boston. When you go back, do you ever have to buy your own beer?
I do buy my own beer.
No way.
Yes.
The fans don't buy you drinks?
Fans do offer. Well, fans offer shots.
Okay.
And I'm going to be 40 years old this year. I have 3 kids, and shots are not going to work. But yeah, fans do. Fans are very, very nice and buy me a lot of beer. But yes, I do buy my own beer because I always tell them it's okay. Let me buy my own beer. I've been awarded a lot in my life, and I can afford to pay for it. Yeah.
And speaking of going back to Boston, you just went back to throw out the first pitch for the ALCS Game 1, I believe.
The only game they lost.
Yeah, were you kind of bad luck for that?
I don't know. I don't know what my other. I think I threw one other first pitch out was against the Cubs because I worked for the Cubs with Theo Epstein. So I don't know if they won that game or not. So if we're gonna go back and look at it, if they lost that game too, I probably need to stop throwing out the first pitch.
No, it was a really great first pitch. But what's it like for you going back to Boston where people, like, they love you there?
It's fun. It's an exciting time, like, to go back always, especially when the ALCS is going because it brings so many memories and people are happy and just, I mean, this year's been an unbelievable year for the Red Sox. I mean, for me personally, it's amazing when I walk down the street and somebody still yells "Uke" as loud as they can. And I try to be anonymous, but sometimes it doesn't work out too well for me. But the fans are great. They've always been amazing to me. I can't thank them enough for giving me all the energy from 1 to 162 because there's some days you don't want to play baseball. And the fans in Boston always made sure that the adrenaline and the passion and love for the game always showed.
So you and Theo are now teamed up again in Chicago with the Cubs. How's that going? It's
great. I mean, I'm so grateful to Theo in so many ways. He was such a mentor to me and so great to me. And I was just thinking about today, like, he sent me out to Athletes Performance in Arizona. I think it's called Exos now, or I don't know how to pronounce it, EXOS. But it was just like life-changing for me to get myself in great shape, learn how to diet better. I kind of listened a little bit on the diet thing, kind of didn't, but they got me in great shape and ready for the season. And Theo's always been there for me, so it's always fun. And just being there, you know, with history being made again. I mean, just being around it is this, the fans seeing in 04 and then seeing in 2016, it was just so much fun to watch.
Can we go back to 04 for a second? Because there's these crazy stories. You're a rookie. 2004, you get there. And there's stories about shots before games. People are drinking. And I think Kevin Millar said it was whiskey shots. Pedro said it was Mama Juana, which I've had.
It was whiskey.
Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely whiskey. The fact is, I never took a shot. And not to say I wouldn't take a shot.
Why not?
I missed out on the first one. So I'm very superstitious in that, so I never took a shot the rest of the time. Not saying I didn't do anything else, because the ALCS, I was not on the roster. So I got to have a little fun by not being on the roster, but I never took a shot because I thought it was for superstitious reasons.
Well, clearly you not taking the shot and them all taking the shot, it worked because you guys won the World Series that year as a rookie. You must have been thinking, what in the world is going on here? Like, my team's taking shots, we won the World Series. What's that like?
Well, I mean, I followed these guys. I mean, I had I was the youngest guy on the team. I think Lenny DiNardo and I were the 2 youngest guys. The next guys had 5 years of service time. So we were so young and didn't know what to do. And back then, when you're a rookie, you are a rookie. There was a pecking order. So there was a tier system in baseball back then. So I basically was just learning so much from them and just following every little thing they did. And for me personally, I just sat back and watched and enjoyed all of it. And then I really did understand later down the road that, like, wow, this isn't normal. This isn't a normal team. And the times changed really fast after that. So I finally got to see the other side of baseball later, but that year was just epic. I mean, the guys were amazing to me, and I'm forever grateful. I think it really changed my career by being around that 2004 team.
So on top of all that, you guys won the World Series, you're out on the field, and then fever pitch is shooting, but you had no idea about it.
I had no idea. So I'm out there, I'm celebrating, and all of a sudden, Jimmy Fallon comes up and like, hey man, I'm like, what's Jimmy Fallon doing on the field? Like, where's the security here, you know? And then next thing you know, he sees my mom run at me screaming. And my mom was always, since I was a little kid, she was the loudest mom, cheering. She was the most proud mom ever. So she screams, she jumps up, gives me a full-on, legs around me, full-on hug. And Jimmy's like, that's awesome. And he goes up and hugs my mom. And I was like, this is just the weirdest, you know, it's 86 years, we finally won the World Series. Jimmy Fallon is hugging my mom on the field. I'm like,
there's a movie being made.
Yeah, there's a movie. And then all of a sudden, like, yeah, there's a movie with Drew Barrymore. I'm like, wow, this is the most